Nastalgia is an original song about the year 1967, one of the greatest years in Canadian history, according to many historians, including the late Pierre Burton. It's dedicated to my defense partner in hockey at Brock University when we were playing for the Generals, and Ed Davis was our coach. The lyrics were written here at StonewallStudios in Niagara. The vocals and music were generated with Suno AI. So the coach Ed, Ronnie, Obie, Dickie, Mike, Stevie, Cliff, Torchie, Craig, Bunny, Bob, and to all the Generals, Nastalgia is for you.
The 60s was a special time for every purpose under heaven. And one of the best years was 1967. And one of the best years was 1967. It was Canada's 100th birthday of those who met at Charlottetown. They cast their votes, they rolled the dice, and Canada was born. Montreal was in the news with a world-class show and fair, a privilege and an honor if you were invited there. In Canada we toasted the amazing Maple Leafs. Fans cheered for days, their captain was the chief. The gardens were never gardens, the gardens were never green. Maple Leaf Gardens was hockey's hallowed throne when the Leafs won and brought old Stanley home. Some of us were married in the summer that year. 57 years is too long to go to the rink to cheer. Another Leaf win is long overdue. Another Leaf win is long overdue. Gardens were never gardens, the gardens were never green. They were hockey's hallowed throne when the Leafs won and brought old Stanley home. Montreal was in the news with a world-class show and fair, a privilege and an honor if you were invited there. In Canada we toasted the amazing Maple Leafs. Fans cheered for days, their captain was the chief. The gardens were never gardens, the gardens were never green. They were hockey's hallowed throne when the Leafs won and brought old Stanley home. When the Leafs won and brought old Stanley home. The gardens were never gardens, the gardens were never green. They were hockey's hallowed throne when the Leafs won and brought old Stanley home. When the Leafs won and brought old Stanley home.